Hello and welcome to Code with Ibra once again. It's been a long time since I posted a video, and that was as a result of a whole lot of personal issues. But then I thank God that for now I am really free, and all what I was going through is now settled. So welcome to this episode. We are going to learn about CSS media queries. Okay, so when we say media queries, it's simply a way of making our website more responsive so that it can be it can be viewed nicely across all devices screen. All right, so what I have here is a sample work of what you are going to use to demonstrate the CSS media query. Now you can see that on my desktop like this, everything is displaying nicely. We can see it correctly. Okay, but watch. As I change the screen, you can see that now it's not being responsive. You can see the scroll bars coming here telling us that the content is not really fitting the screen. Okay, so we are going to look at how we can make this content fit the screen and make it responsive on all devices. All right, so stay tuned. If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you are not new, you are with us also already, then welcome to the show. Okay, so to start, this is what I already have. I will link the project files to the video description. Also, I'll post it in my Telegram channel, so if you are on the platform, you can have access to everything that we will be discussing today. All right, okay, so if I come here, you can see simply I have the index, which is the HTML file, and then I also have the style. Then I have img folder, which contains some images, right? Some images. Okay, so and then coming to the project setup, you can see that on the line 7 I have linked the CSS. Okay, and then not really anything much. I have a container created, and then I have text, another div or a wrapper, a text wrapper wrapping the P. Okay, and then I also have another image wrapper. It's a div that is containing this particular hot image. Okay, so on the CSS2, this is what I have: the body, the container, and then the image wrapper. So simply the container is what you are seeing here. Container houses the text wrapper and also the image wrapper. Okay, all right. So one thing I would say is, if you are new to this whole thing here, you need to consider going back to what we've done previously, because in order for you to achieve flexible media queries, responsive design, for you to achieve that, you have to have knowledge on Flexbox or display grid, which already I have covered in this CSS tutorials. So you can go to the you can go to our playlist and then find that particular course, or let me see that tutorial, or I'll also link it in the description below, so you can go there to learn, if in case you are new to CSS, Flexbox, and then media query, as that is what we are going to use to achieve responsive design. All right, so let's begin. Now what we have here is the image wrapper, the container, and also the body. All right, so this is how it is. For you to first understand media query, there's something you need to understand in the web development technologies. We call it breakpoint. Okay, so when we say breakpoint, it's simply the the screen size of a particular device. So for instance, I can come to the browser like this. Let me just increase things up. So I can come to the browser like this and inspect. You go to this particular guy here, and then you can see that there are some breaks this particular side. You can see the breaks, right? So this is the screen size of a particular mobile phone. Okay, that is 320 pixel. So this is a breakpoint. You come here, it's also a breakpoint. So you can see that there are some breaks inside this particular bars here. So all are breakpoints. Simply it's the height of a particular device. Okay, and mostly when designing for responsive, you are not limited to any breakpoint, but you are not limited. You can go on to design as you want, but we have popular breakpoint that mostly we go by. So the popular ones are let me see, we have the 992 pixels, that is tablet, and then we have 768, that is for small phones. Okay, so above 992 pixels is seen as larger screens, like the laptop screen, desktops, and the others. And then the 768 are also seen as the the lower screen. All right, we can as well have the 1280 in that order. All right, but mostly these are the ones I personally like to go by. And you are not limited, you can just do whatever you want to do, provided you have the understanding. That is what I'm going to take you through today. All right, okay, so let's really start. Okay, let me just leave it here. Maybe some people will take it, will take note of it. Okay, to start, one thing is, when you are developing your responsive, you need to start from the higher device to the lowest. Okay, from the higher to the what, to the lowest. You don't need to start from the least to the highest. That is not how it is done. If you do it that way, things are not going to work the way it should. All right, so what I really mean is, if you are doing the responsive, you start from here. You don't need to start from 768 and then from there you jump to 1280, then this one. That is not how it is done. How you should do it is, you first have to start from the top. Okay, from the higher screen. So from the higher screen, you come to the least highest, in that order. Okay, all right. So what I will do here is, let me go back to the browser and let me refresh, so you can see that now it is sitting here nicely. It is good, but when we minimize the screen, you can see that the content is not fitting the screen, as I showed you earlier on. This is what we are coming to fix it right now. Okay, so what we really need to do is, we have to go to the code and then check this particular one. You see container. The container is the one that is housing the text and then also the image. Okay, and you can see that over here we have given the container a display of what, grid, and then a display template columns of, that is auto. Okay, I have already covered this thing, so if you don't really understand, you can check the description. Yeah, I've put the video link in the description below. That is CSS display grid and also flex boxes. Do well to check it so that you can understand everything. But what this simply means is, it will give it a 2 column, right? So right here you can see that is first column, and then the image is the second column, right? Very good. So let me come here and let me start with my responsive design. So to start with the CSS media query, you start with the art and then media, okay, followed by screen, at media screen, and max width. Okay, every developer has their favorite way of doing responsive designs. This is what over the past years I've been using for my responsive designs. So what I'm teaching you is not something that I don't know of. It is something that I personally choose to, and this is not the only best way. Other developers also have their way of doing it, yes, but this is what I recommend and what I choose to. It doesn't mean that others are wrong. Others are not wrong. They are all equally correct, provided they provide the responsiveness. Okay, so at media screen and max width of 992 pixels. Look at what I'm coming to do here, and then let me bring this one. Okay, so you start with the at media and then screen, and then this one will have to be in a bracket. If you forget the bracket, it will not work. So you put the bracket and then max width 992 pixels. What this simply means is, all the styles and all the styles we are coming to define inside this block will be applicable to a device that has a width that is greater than that is less than or equal to 992 pixels. Okay, so all what we will define here will be applicable to devices that have their screen width less than or equal to what, 992 pixels. Now look at something here. Let me give the body a background of red. Okay, giving the body a background of red. I'll go back to the browser to, oh my bad, okay, let me refresh. Okay, you see we specify the background red at this particular side where the maximum screen should be less or equal to what, 992 pixels. Now at the moment you see the screen size is greater than that. That is why we are not seeing the background of red. Okay, that is not why we are not seeing the background of red. So you see for now, this is what the screen, what is the dimension of the screen now. It is not less than or equal to the 992 pixels. So immediately we start to reduce it. You can see that when it hits the 992 pixels, you see the background changes. So from there to the least, it will be red. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you can see that this is applicable. All the styles we will define here will be applicable to devices that has their width equal to or less than 992 pixels. Okay, no confusion here. All right, so this is what we are coming to do. When we want to define another style, we have to ask ourselves, is the width of the device that we want to target, is it greater than 992 or less than 992? If it is greater than 992 pixels, that means that one should be on top. If it is less, it has to come down. So media queries, that is how they are. It is in hierarchy. Okay, the highest will be on top, and then the least will come down. Okay, don't come and say the 992 here and then 768 on top. It is totally wrong. We don't do it that way. This is the right approach. You have to do it. Okay, all right, very good. So let's move on. Now we have to target the container. We can see that this is a global star. Okay, the global star will be applicable to all the devices that doesn't meet the media query here. That doesn't meet the star we have, this criteria. If it doesn't meet this one, it will just take the star that we have given to the container. Okay, so now we are coming to define a different one for this guy, so that this particular screen width will have a different style that is not equal to the global one specified here. Okay, so let's begin. What we do is we have to, this one was just for demonstration, so I'll come here and say container. Okay, and then you see over here the container has a display grid, which is all right, but then because it was a large screen, we gave it 2 columns. But you can see that when we do the same thing for small devices, that is really not going to be possible. They are not going to be able to see things clearly. Okay, you can see that for them to be able to see it, they need to scroll and be tapping the screen over and over, which is not really cool. So to fix that, we simply need to change the column from 2 to what? From 2 to 1. Very good. So grid template columns to auto. Okay, now mind you, it is not everything that we need to change here. We only need to change what we need. Okay, we are changing only what we need. All right, only what we need. So now we've changed this one from being 2 column to what? 1 column. Let us go back and then refresh. So when I refresh on the larger screen, it is as it is. Let us see if we try to yes. So when we try to very good, you can see here, yeah. So you see, as we started minimizing, it has now changed from 2 column to 1 column. Okay, mind you, you can check this particular this one, check the dimension. Okay, so we specify 992 pixels, so immediately it gets to the 992 pixels, you can see the changes. Okay, so you see 992, when it hits the 992, it has now changed from 2 column to 1 column. Okay, that is simply because we specify the style to be 992 pixels, so it will be applicable to devices that has a screen of up to 992 or less. Okay, that is it. And that is not only what we can do, we can do more than that. So let me refresh, go back to the small screen, again, and then you can see that very good. Now we have 2 columns here, okay, but of course it is not really responsive. It's just that we've changed the columns to 2, but that yeah, the columns are now 1, from 2 to 1, but still it's not really responsive. So how do we fix it? What we do is we come back to the code. What is really happening? We come back to the code, and you see the global style has a width of what? 122 pixels. Now you can't give a mobile phone 122 pixels, and mind you, we have specified the style for a device that has a width less than or equal to 992 pixels. So if you give a width of 1200, that means it can't be responsive, because this one is even greater than this one. So what we do is we say weight is equal to 100%. When we set the weight to 100%, then that one, the content will fit all screens. Okay, all screens. So we go back and then we refresh. Okay, so we come back here now again, and then you can see that now we don't need to scroll around before. Okay, we don't need to be scrolling around before we can see our this thing. Okay, but of course it's a bit moving up and down, but you can see that it's not like the other one. It's not really like the other one. Now we are seeing it. Okay, so let me reduce it a bit and let's refresh. Okay, so 992 pixel, it changes from 2 column to 1 column. Okay, changes from 2 column to 1 column, and that is not all we are coming to do. Let us also try and tweak it. So we will say that, okay, let us try to reduce the padding. Okay, let us take the padding off. So padding is equal to 0. Now that we've set the padding to 0, let's refresh once again, and now you can see that it's fitting the screen correctly. Okay, we don't need to scroll around, and it's not only for 992 pixels, it's for 992 pixels and below. So all screens, very good. All screens will fit it. Okay, don't mind what you are seeing. You can see that now the horizontal and the vertical scroll bars are not coming. Okay, we are going to fix this thing in a minute, but I just want you to know that, you see, because of what we've specified, we are not seeing the vertical and then the horizontal, because everything is sitting 100% on the screen. All right, very good. Now the main reason why you are seeing this thing is very simple. Mind you, the last time I taught you overflow properties. Okay, so that is what we can use to control this thing, the child trying to overlap the parent. We control that with CSS text overflow property. Okay, I have a video on that also, but let's fix it as soon as possible, fast. So I come here, and then you can see that this paragraph, okay, is inside this container. So we can say that the div tag here is the parent of the P here, right? And the same, you can say that the image is also the parent, the child of the img wrapper. Okay, so first I want to target the image. So let me come here, let me target the wrapper. So img wrapper. Okay, this one is the image item, and then this one is the container. So simply let me tell the container that, okay, container, you have a width of 100%, and then I'll set the overflow to 02. Okay, and then let us also target the text. So in order for us to target the text, we first need the text wrapper, or the parent of the P, which is the text wrapper. Okay, so by the way, I hope you understand what you are doing. Okay, text wrapper, and then I set the weight to 100%, and then let's give the text overflow of what? Let's set it to 02. Okay, let's set it to 02. Yeah, and then I think that should do it. So we go back to the browser, we refresh, and then we can see that now everything is working. Okay, everything is working, but of course I am seeing some what I don't really know why it's happening. Let us refresh once again. Okay, yeah, everything should go by now. Okay, yeah, so you can see that it's working. Okay, they ask for this one, it is responsive. Okay, so the user of this, whoever screen will be this one, don't need to scroll to the left and right, just that the image will move about. Okay, you can scroll the image up and down at the same position. So this is responsive. You can, make it smaller, and then you can see that the page is not scrolling, it's just the image that is what moving about. Okay, so that is really it. This is happening simply because of the overflow that what we introduce here. So if I take the overflow from here, look at what happened also. I like to do this as kind of experiment so that when you are coding, you will also understand when you face this particular kind issues. Okay, so when we refresh like this, you see that now we are now scrolling up and down. Okay, it's not fitting, we are scrolling up and down. So to fix this, that is why I introduced the overflow of what? Overflow of auto. So the overflow of auto will simply make sure that the content fits into the screen perfectly. Okay, so that is really it. And one last thing that I want to do is, you can see that the text is hitting the edge of this particular, I don't know if you guys can see it clearly, but I can see that the text is hitting the edge of the, let me say, the white background. So how we can do that is very simple. We have to come back here, and then we specify padding for the text wrapper. Okay, so we come here, and then I say that text wrapper has a padding of maybe 10, let's say 5 pixels. So with 5 pixels, that is how it's going to be. You can see that now there's some padding around it. Okay, there's some padding around it. All right, so that is how you can achieve responsive design. Okay, how you can achieve responsive design. And so if I'm to go back again, what I'll say is, you see, as for me, I only did one particular one, which is a screen that has its maximum width less than or equal to a screen that has its width less than or equal to what? 992 pixels. So if I want to come and specify another one too, what I'll do is I'll come here, and remember I told you that for media query we always start from the biggest to the smallest. So you see, this is the biggest, the 992 pixel is bigger. Okay, so what should come under should be less, should be greater than this one, should be less. Okay, we also have the mean width, but me, I don't go with the mean width, I always go with max width. That is what I've been doing for a very long time. Okay, and everything worked perfectly. Why not? If you want to use the mean width, you can also go and then learn about the mean width and use it. It's simply the same thing. This is from least to the 0 to starting from the least to this particular one. The mean is the opposite. All right. So I come here and say, okay, so media screen, and in a bracket, max width is equal to, let me say, 768 pixels. So for the 768 pixels, I simply want the background of the body to be let me say background of green. Okay, and from there I come down again. This is just for experiment so that you understand what I really mean. So at media screen and max width, so the max width is equal to, let me say, 400 pixels. Okay, this one too, will give it a background of yellow. Okay, so it should be okay, so we specify the body here, and then we set the background to, let me see, which one? Orange, right? Okay, so orange is fine. You can see that this one was the one we used, and followed by the 992 pixels. So simply means this is for all the devices that have their their weight from 0 up to 768. So from 0 to 768. Max width means the maximum of it is 768 and the rest is the least. Okay, and then this one simply means for devices that has their maximum screen up to 400 pixels. Okay, so from 0 to 400 pixels. And if I want to specify anything higher, let me specify one so that we can understand it. So media query and max width. Okay, why not? Let me use the mean width here so that we can understand. So mean width. So if I say the mean width, I simply mean the opposite. Okay, the opposite of the max width. So devices that have their minimum width, that is up to the let me say 992 pixels. Okay, so if the device have their width 992 pixels or greater, okay, so the minimum is this one, right? The minimum is the 992 and then the rest is greater, and then this one to max width simply means the maximum is this one, then the rest is least. Okay, that is it. It shouldn't confuse you. So what I will do is I will set a body and then have it give it a background of yellow. I think I already have yellow here, right? Okay, yellow doesn't. Okay, so let me just give this one yellow. Okay, now look at what happens. We have set this particular styles. Okay, let me just refresh. You can see the first one is kicking in. The first one says that if the minimum weight is equal to is 992 pixels, so from 992 pixel to the highest. Okay, so this one is the minimum, so from this one to the highest, all of them will have what the body of the style of the body will be changed from what is declared here, okay, to what we've set here. So now we can see that yes, from 992 pixels, from this is 992 pixels, so 992 pixels will come here. Let us see here. Okay, you can see, of course. So when it get to 992 pixels, 992, yes, so 992 starting from here, you see from 992 pixels the background changes to what? To yellow, as we've specified. Okay, so from this one to the upwards, it will be yellow. It will never change. That is the style we've given it to it, so it will be yellow. Okay, and then looking at here too, we say that the max weight it should be this particular one. Okay, this one we have already done it, so you saw it. It's the same thing. So if the screen is equal to 768 or least, it will be this one. So that is why when we reduce it to this particular one, it changes to what? To green. Okay, but you can see that when we got here, no style was applied. That is in between the 992 and then the 768. You know, the devices with the screen rate around 800, we're not giving any style to them, so they are picking from the global, what we've defined here. Yeah, that is what they are picking from. Okay, and as well you can see that when we keep on reducing, it changes. Now you see this particular one is not kicked in because we've not got into that breakpoint yet. Okay, we've not got into that breakpoint yet. That is why. And when we reduce it to the least, why not? It will also set in. So what I want to tell you, or what I want to say with CSS media query is, number one, you have to know that always the highest should be on top. Okay, so the small screen style that you want to declare for devices with smaller screen should come down, and then the higher screens should be on top. Okay, you can see that this one, this 992, a device that has 80 minimum weight of 992 is on top, followed by this one. Okay, followed by this one, in that order. Okay, and you see we have a whole lot of styles defined here, so you only have to put what you want to change inside here. Okay, these ones are for demonstration, so let me just collapse them. Okay, so you can see that in the container like this container, okay, we have a whole lot of styles defined inside here. We did not change any of them. We changed some of them, but we didn't change all of them. Why didn't we change all of them? Because there are some we don't need to change. Okay, there are some we want them to have the same style across all screens, But you see, with a column on larger screen, it is now what, 2 columns, but we can't have 2 columns on small screen. That is why when we got here, we change it from what, 2 to 1. Okay, and then we can see that of course the width is 1200 pixels, which is way larger than this particular one. So we need to what, reduce it to 100% so that it will fit all small screens. Okay, and then you can see that the padding is 10 pixels, which is okay here. But when we got here, the padding was giving us responsive issues. Okay, so we have to turn the padding off to 0. And then aside that, you can also see that we have box shadow and then border radius. Now box shadow and border radius doesn't affect the responsive, so we don't really need to change it. We just have to leave it as it is. So because we did not change it over here, what happened is this particular string also pick it from the global. Okay, so the style you want to change, that is what you put here. The ones you don't want to change, you leave it. Okay, all right, so thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Thank you for staying here with me, and also I thank you guys most for waiting for me when I wasn't active on Telegram and also on YouTube. Okay, I'll ask my new viewers to kindly subscribe and promote the channel so that we can always be encouraged, be motivated, and also to always bring new quality content. Okay, like the video, subscribe, and then also give me your comment. Let me know what you think. Okay, all right, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye bye.